What is going on, guys? It is Rowdy here, and I'm bringing you the first installment of the Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play. I have been wanting to 100% this game for years, pretty much like ever since I first started playing it. The problem was, back then, I had school, I had a bunch of other stuff, and I kind of just wanted the money grind so I could buy all the cars that I wanted. I didn't really care about 100% completing it. It wasn't that big of a deal to me. I'm sure all you guys are going through the same shit as well, with like the whole quarantine and economy being shut down and whatnot. Pretty much every other game I've been playing up until this point has gotten stale for me. So what I've done is I finally got an emulator running for a PS2 emulator, and I have my Logitech G29 set up, and we are going to finally start a series on this. I've been wanting to make a Let's Play series of this game for a really long time, but I just couldn't stomach actually starting it on the PS2 and then losing all the progress whenever I'm like ready to switch to an emulator. So I finally got the emulator working. I have a working wheel and everything. It feels completely natural at this point. I've done a little bit of practicing, and I believe I'm ready to get started on this. So enough rambling. I'm just going to quickly go through like my options, like what I'm going to be doing throughout this Let's Play. Manual transmission. So the problem with this game is there's only sequential gearboxes, so I can only use my paddles. If I bought a shifter and used the shifter in the clutch, it won't work because that wasn't implemented into this game. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to disable the race and replay music because there's a lot of copyrighted tracks on this game, and I don't want to get a strike later on in the future if somebody decides to suddenly start claiming their music and whatever. And going through every single song in the soundtrack, figuring out which one's copyrighted and which one isn't, is going to take a long ass time. So at least for now, I'm going to leave it disabled, and I hope it's not a huge deal. As far as like the controller settings go, everything is pretty much the same, but I do have the brake and gas pedals remapped to their correct locations. I have the controls on the wheel all set up already. Went through that process earlier, and I actually want to. You know what? I'm just gonna leave this how it is. So let's get started. I'm gonna show the opening movie that does have a copyrighted song in it, Panama from Van Halen, but it's worth it. It's nostalgic, and if I get copyright claimed for it, oh well. But in the future, if it's muted, that's pretty much the reason. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so now that the opening movie has been played, onto Gran Turismo mode for the first time. Now, I've already done some audio testing, so hopefully all the audio is perfectly balanced. And, yeah, so here we go. The performance of the emulator might be a little bit dodgy at times. It's still not perfect, but I think I've gotten it decently set up at this point, and I just want to go ahead and get started. So, this is the main menu for those of you who haven't played Gran Turismo before. If you haven't ever played this game, then what the fuck is wrong with you? And we're actually going to get the licenses out of the way first off, because I kind of don't want to procrastinate on this and then end up being like, oh, I have to do a race that requires a IA license or something, and then I'm like, well, fuck, I have to do 3 licenses to get it. So we're gonna get all the licenses out of the way right off the bat, plus we get prize cars out of it. So that is actually going to be in episode 1 for the Let's Play. This is just the introduction video. I'm not going to technically count this as an episode, just the introduction. So yeah, as far as like how I'm actually going to go about playing this, I want to get gold on every single license, which I have done before on the PS2. I actually did it recently before I got the emulator set up. As far as like if I'm going to use B-Spec, which is like director's mode, I'm probably not going to use it. I'm definitely not going to use it for like progression wise, but maybe for money grinding. I don't know. It just depends on what I'm thinking at the time. I'm going to try not to use B-Spec though. As far as like A-Spec points, I'm going to try to get above 100 points per race, but it's not going to be like guaranteed, at least because my car may be a bit too powerful. And I kind of don't want to go out of the way making it difficult on myself just to get more A-Spec points. So yeah, that's pretty much how this whole LP is gonna go. And yeah, guys, stay tuned for episode 1 for the licenses.